As always, this is a 100% cotton t-shirt that's been soaked in soda ash for at least 20 minutes and then spun in the washing machine until it's just lightly damp. I'm flipping it inside out, and then I'm finding the center of the collar and marking that. I'm pinching under the armpits so that I can make sure that the center of the shirt can be found at the bottom. Okay, so when I fold this over, this should be the center. Pinch those 2 points, and then we just need to pull the arms through. So you grab the bottom arm, pull that through the inside of the top, line that up, and then check to make sure that's flat. Then come back here, flip it the opposite direction, grab the end and the collar, pull that down, and you have the center of the shirt. Check and make sure that the arms are still relatively flat. No, one doesn't seem to be through as far as the other. Okay, so we'll work with this. For this, I'm going to come from right about there. Wasn't bad for a first pass, but there we go. We'll go with that second line. And since there's two, I'm going to reinforce that second line with a different color so it's easier to follow. I'll probably pull that around so that it's not a sharp point. Alright, so then we just do an accordion fold up this line. Okay, let's see. I feel like I'm off a little. There's too many different colors on here. I'm trying to make sure I have this lined up. I think that's correct. Great. So then I'll take the sinew, do a couple of wraps. Pull this tight, making sure I'm not folding over the back side, or if I am, it's minimal. A couple more wraps. And again, check the back. Okay, so I've got one. It looks like the accordions stayed pretty well for this side. So I should be able to just fold all of this together. It's kind of tricky in the collar area, but I'll do what I can. Make sure that's tight. I'm going to cheat a little. Actually put a rubber band here, just temporarily to hold that in place, because that has a bad habit of pulling apart. I'll come in here. Okay, so we have 6 inches left end to end. Well, point to end. And since this is the center, this will actually need to be half the distance if you want to maintain the same spacing, since it's folded over itself. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go with a 1 inch. It's pretty tight spacing. That will leave this with double the width in the center, but I actually think that'll work out okay as long as we pick the color correctly. Alright, so since the rubber band is holding that in place, should be able to hold that. Like I said, you don't want that to pull over the top there, so take the time to actually try to line everything up. And pull it tight, check the bottom. Okay, so off to the next. And I use my thumb to keep it lined up, at least as close as possible. As you can see, that's beginning to fold onto itself. So I'll pull that back a little. There we go. So pull that. And it's doing it a little bit, but it's to be expected somewhat. You just try to keep it as little as possible. Okay. Probably should have pulled the rubber band out first, so I didn't have that. Alright, pull that. Okay, and then do the last one. Alrighty. So we do this side, and I always have a harder time doing this side. Try to get the accordion back in place as much as possible. That accordion is way too shallow. There's not really any way to fix that at this point. So do what you can if you run into that. And then once you're down here, just add the accordions that you need to finish that up. And then slip a rubber band over it to keep that in place. And I'll probably do another one up here, since there is a lot of excess coming off that direction. Since I like to work to the right, I'll go ahead and space it off this direction. Now, we've got this. As long as you remember where you're doing your transition, everything is fine. Okay, those are marked off. So we'll just do a few of these. There we go. Right, and just keep working your way down. Yeah, it's getting a little sloppy there. And there's not much left once you get to this point. Especially here on the end. I'm not sure it makes much difference at that point. Alright, so cut that off, trim that, and off to dye. Alright, I have sea glass and robin's egg blue, and those will be alternated for the center part of the shirt. And then I have turquoise and cerulean blue, and those will be alternated for the rest of it. And then on the opposite side it will be the opposite color. So if this is green, then the same on the back will be blue. But I'm not switching between the two. Okay, so let's go ahead and dye this. Alright, I'll let that sit for 24 hours and then we'll do the washout. It's been about 36 hours, so time for the washout. Alright, let's take a look.